What is going on, y'all? Robert Sykes, KetoSavage.com, coming at you with another prep update. This is going to be for week 14, which is kind of crazy because we are 14 weeks into this endeavor, and I'm feeling great. I'm looking significantly leaner as each day goes by, but this week has thrown some obstacles our way because we are traveling this week. So Crystal's got a family reunion in Oregon. We pretty much loaded up into our little converted RV rig and then took off to go see her family in Oregon from Arkansas. So we drove through South Dakota, Washington, over to Oregon, back down. It took about a week and a half, 2 weeks, and we set out for this on the week 14 of this prep endeavor. So with that said, there are not a lot of weigh-ins during this time. I pretty much didn't weigh in at all. But it's honestly a good thing because a lot of people get so hung up on the scale. And I think the scale is great data. I don't ever think people should avoid the scale entirely if they have a healthy relationship with the scale. Like, improving the relationship with the scale should always be, priority number one, as opposed to just simply throwing the scale out, because there could be some very actionable data from that. But this is going to be interesting because I'm going to be on point with my macros and my training and my cardio throughout this span, and then when I get back from this trip and I am able to get back on routine and start weighing myself regularly again, you'll be able to see that having this trip, having this deviation from my normal routine didn't result in any catastrophic increases in weight, simply because I stayed consistent with things. And a lot of people let obstacles, hurdles, nuanced situations like this that are outside of their norm totally derail them from the prep progress. So I'm excited for this to be an obstacle that I have that I can leverage as an opportunity to show y'all what's possible when you continue to adhere to the plan. So diving into the spreadsheet here for week 14, we took off for this trip on Friday of last week. That's why there's pretty much no weigh-ins at all since then, because I have not had that scale to weigh in. Macros for this has been 145 grams of dietary fat, 195 grams of protein, and 15 grams of total carbs. I have been scaling up my cardio a little bit this week, so continuing to do 2 sessions a week at 20 minutes, and I bumped it up to level 14 during this week 14. So week 14, level 14 on the Stairmaster. That's not by design. That just kind of is the way things worked out, so don't try and match your intensity level with the week number you are. That's just total happenstance there. But 20 minutes at level 14, that felt great on the Stairmaster. And then with these macros, you can kind of see, like, my last weigh-in before the start of this week was the 165.7. And then according to that, I'm ahead of schedule, so feel pretty good about that. I will most certainly retain some fluid from the driving. When I'm driving across the country, I'm in a hot vehicle, my feet are dangling down in the driver's seat, putting in 6+ hours a day driving, I'm going to most certainly have some fluid retention in my ankles, and that will likely result in a temporary increase in scale weight when I return. But it's good to know that I'm technically ahead of the projected goal weight going into this travel. So I'm happy to say that. Now, when it comes to the macros, 145 grams of fat, 195 grams of protein, 15 grams of total carbs, 2,145 calories. That is a 60.8% fat ratio. So generally speaking, most of my clientele, especially my male clientele, can tend to go a little bit higher with the protein as a percentage of total calories, not than dietary fat, but more so than my females. I don't have any clients in which their protein as a percentage of total calories exceeds that of their dietary fat. They're all still on a predominantly higher fat-based diet as a percentage of total calories. 60% is definitely getting on the lower end for where most of my clients operate. Generally speaking, 60% is kind of where most males start to hit their protein threshold. Most females hit it before that point, usually 65 or 70% total calories coming from dietary fat. Here I am at 60.8. My protein in grams is certainly exceeding my dietary fat, and I still feel great. I'm still leaning out. So I'm going to keep pushing that protein to see where that threshold exists, and then honestly push it a little bit past that point to just solidify that as my unique protein threshold. Last prep in 2020, I got my protein up to 200 grams. So I'm going to likely pushed it a little bit beyond that this go around, simply because this is going to be a longer prep, and I really want to see how far I could take things. So with the 145 grams of fat, 195 grams of protein, 15 grams of total carbs, my macros are broken down as such. I've got a whopping 1 tablespoon of heavy cream in my coffee, and that's not much at all. So I've kind of been playing around with the 1 tablespoon of heavy cream, or 6 tablespoons of like a coconut creamer that contains 1 gram of dietary fat per tablespoon. So the fat macros wind up being the same. One just has significantly fewer grams of fat per tablespoon because it's predominantly water. And I'll do that to kind of dilute the coffee a little bit. So I've been playing around between the 1 tablespoon of heavy cream versus 6 tablespoons of a 1 gram of fat per tablespoon almond creamer or coconut creamer. Mixing things up there. I'll have my 1 keto brick still. I've been on the PB cup kick this week. And then my meal 2, my final meal, has been 5 eggs and 19 ounces of venison. So I am running pretty low on my venison stock. This is all venison that I've killed in years prior, so I feel good that it's stuff that I've furnished myself. It's nutrient dense. Deer are ruminant animals, so very nutritionally dense food sources. So I've been doing the 19 ounces of venison this week with the 5 eggs. By whittling the eggs down, I definitely feel like I'm losing some volume there, but it was kind of nice to have the increase in overall protein from the venison. So feel good about that. I've been keeping the electrolytes very high, 6 or 7 of the element packages a day, plus the hydration packet from Mark Bell's that I talked about last week. That's putting me easily over about 10 grams of sodium a day, counting what I'm adding to my food. So an average of probably 10 grams of sodium to maybe about 10.5 grams of sodium a day. So quite a bit on the sodium front, but I'm drinking quite a bit of fluid, and things are feeling great there. From a training standpoint, I don't feel like I've lost any strength whatsoever. When traveling like I am, you're going to new gyms, the weights feel a bit different. A 100-pound dumbbell here feels a little bit different than a 100-pound dumbbell there. So you kind of have to kind of be flexible and roll with the punches, so to speak. But I've been hitting all my training sessions. I haven't missed a single workout, which I feel really good about, and I haven't really lost any tangible strength that I can tell thus far. I can tell that I'm in a deficit. Most certainly, I feel like my recovery is a little bit hindered because of the lack of sleep that I've been getting while traveling, but all in all, I feel really good about how my body has responded thus far throughout the travels and where I'm at this point in the prep with the macros, the calories, and the overall psychology of it all. I'm almost sub 2,000 calories at this point. Generally speaking, I'll drop the meal frequency to an OMAD protocol once I get below 2,000 calories. So I've kept it at 2 meals a day thus far, and I feel really good. There are moments throughout the day where I'll feel depleted. There are moments throughout the day where I'll feel like I'm running on fumes, so to speak. But those are pretty fleeting moments. Normally, it's just a matter of recentering myself, and then I'm ready to go again. And I'm intense throughout the entirety of the day. So I can't really complain too much there. I feel very mentally aware. I feel very physically fit. I feel good about everything right now in the prep. So I'm excited to keep dialing things in and keep showing y'all what's in the pipeline. I will have a DEXA scheduled and blood work scheduled in the next 2 weeks. So we will get those results back as well. So it'll give us some more tangible data there. So not a whole lot to go over with this video, but I wanted to go ahead and bring you up to speed with regards to how the prep is going. So thank y'all so much for tuning in, and I will see y'all next week for week 15.